Alright guys, this is page 4, the last page of your review. This is just graphing lines. Okay, so the first thing you guys need to do is identify the slope and the y-intercept, and then we can graph the equation. So in this first problem, in the first two problems I should say, the slope is the number in front of x. So positive 2 over 3, and over here it's negative 4. Okay, so we can just go right ahead and fill that in. So here, 2 over 3. And over here it's negative 4. Now in order to graph a line, we need our slope to be a fraction. The first one is already a fraction, but this one is not. So we're going to put this one over 1. Okay, so if it's just a whole number by itself, put it over 1, because that will help us graph it. And then the second thing we need to find is identify is the y-intercept. Well, again, that's just the second number in the equation. Negative 5 here, and positive 1 over here. So negative 5 and positive 1. And hey, look, that's 2 out of 3 points right there on the problem. Now we just need to graph it. Okay, so remember when we graph, step 1, graph the y-intercept. Okay, so I'm going to take negative 5, and then remember it's y-intercept, so it's on the y-axis at negative 5. So we go down to negative 5. Okay, so we're at negative 5. And now we're going to use the slope. Now the slope is 2 over 3. So let's write that over here. Again, change in y over change in x. So the number on the top tells us whether we're going up or down. Now another thing you've heard before is probably rise over run. And it's useful to say, oops, that's horrible. Rise over run is useful when we're graphing. Okay, so the rise here is 2. So we're going to go up 2. And then the run, or the change in x, is 3. Oops, sorry. So we go right 3, up 2, right 3. There's our next point. Up 2, right 3. Up 2, right 3. Okay, and now, again, we want to graph it really nice. So we want to graph as many points as we can to the left. So instead of going up 2, we're going to go down. Instead of going right 3, we're going to go left. Down 2, left 3. So basically we're just going backwards. Okay, now we connect the dots. And don't forget your arrows on the end. Okay? Alright, good. And again, I forgot to put step 2 was graph the slope. First the y-intercept, then the slope. Okay, so now here it's positive 1, so we're going to go up 1. And now here the slope is negative 4 over 1. So when it's negative, we go not up, but we go down. Down 4, then right 1. Down 4, right 1. And we can't go any further there, so let's go up the other way. So instead of down 4, now we go up 4 and left 1. Up 4, left 1. Okay, now we can just connect the dots. And put arrows on the end. Okay? Now the next ones. Now these, the first problems were in the nice y equals mxb plus b slope-intercept form. And that makes it easy to graph. But these are not. These are in what we call standard form, when we have x and y on the left and then a number on the right. So what we have to do is we have to solve this equation for y in order to get this form right here, y equals mx plus b. So we're going to take this one over here, just rewrite it, and now I have to solve it. So to solve it, we want y to be by itself. So I'm going to draw my line to organize myself. So to get y by itself, first we need to get rid of this 3x. So it's positive, so we subtract both sides. Okay, so now I'm left with 2y on this side. And then I cannot subtract 8 minus 3 because this has x, and this does not have x. They're not like terms. So all I can do is just bring them both down and rewrite them. And I always write the x first. Just like in this equation up here and here, we always do the x first. Okay, now the last step is this 2. Because remember, y equals mx plus b, there's no number next to y. So we need to get rid of this 2. And here, we're going to divide. And we divide 2 to get rid of it. And when we divide 2, we divide it everywhere. Divide on every term or every number. Okay, so these 2's cancel out. And we just have y now. And then negative 3 over 2, well, I can't simplify that. So it's just negative 3 over 2, x. And then 8 divided 2 is 4. And now we have our equation. So now I can put y-intercept is 4, slope is negative 3 over 2, and I can graph it now. So go up to 4, and I have negative 3 as my change in y, so I go down 3, and then I go right 2, down 3, right 2, down 3, right 2, down 3, right 2, and then I do go the opposite way, up 3, left 2, up 3, left 2, and connect the dots. Okay, now this one, same thing. Let's go a little quicker this time. Oops, sorry. Actually, let's not go so quick because this one can get a little confusing. 2x minus y equals 4. Plus, you guys are watching the video, so if you don't want to go slow, you can always just speed along or fast forward. Okay, so now, again, I want to get rid of this x term, so I subtract it because I'm only subtracting because it's positive. If this was negative, I would have to add it. Okay, so now, remember, we do opposites when we solve equations. Okay, so first I subtract it. Now, if you notice, this y has a negative, so make sure you write that down here. It's negative y equals, and we can't combine these two terms, so it's just negative 2x plus 4. Now, the problem is, here you notice there's no negative on this y, so that means I have to get rid of this negative. But the question is, what number do I even divide? Well, there's no number here, so it's written, so it's negative 1. So that's the number you're going to divide all the way across. So divide negative 1, divide negative 1, and divide negative 1. Those cancel out. Now I have y equals negative 2 divided by negative 1, positive 2, and then x, and then positive 4 divided by negative 1, well, that just changes the sign to negative 4. So now we have y equals 2x minus 4. So now the slope is 2, but then remember we need it as a fraction, so we put it at 2 over 1, and then the y-intercept is negative 4. Start in the middle, go down to negative 4, the y-intercept, and then the slope is 2 over 1, so we go up 2, right 1. Oops, sorry. Up 2, right 1. 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 And then we continue down the other way. Down 2, left 1. Down 2, left 1. Down 2, left 1. And then connect all your dots. Okay? Oops. Make sure you put your arrows. Okay, now letter E. Okay, letter E is a little different. What you'll notice here is that we have a number with x, but then there's no number right after that. So if there's nothing there, that means it's 0. Okay, so our y-intercept is 0. Our slope is 5, but remember we have to change it to a fraction, so we put over 1. So then our y-intercept is just simply right in the middle. And then our change is up 5, right 1. Up 5, right 1. And then we go down 5, left 1. Down 5, left 1. So it's a really steep line. So make sure you connect all your dots. And that's it. Okay? So again, if it's just an x term by itself, then that means that the y-intercept is 0. Okay? And then the slope is the number next to x. Okay, now this, we have x equals 7. Well, remember, if we have x equals a number, it's going to be a vertical line. If it's y equals a number, it's going to be a horizontal line. Okay? So, we also say VUX. V for vertical, up and down. U, because the slope is undefined. X, because the equation is x equals. And then for these, we say, for y equals, we say HOI, because it's horizontal, left to right. Then this means 0 for the slope, and then the y because our equations are y equals. Okay, so for this first one, again, the slope, if it's x equals a number, it's undefined. Okay. And then if the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. However, unless this is x equals 0, it won't touch the y-axis at all. Because let's go ahead and graph it. So when it's x equals 7, it's vertical, and you graph it where it crosses the 7. So we graph it right there, and then all you need is that one point, and you just graph a vertical line up and down. And if you notice, it goes straight up and down, so it never touches the y-axis, so there is none. Well, let's do an example where it's y equals, let's say y equals -3. Okay, well the slope, in this case, it doesn't change. And remember what I told you before, if there's no number with x, and y is on the left, it's 0. And then the y-intercept here is wherever this number crosses the y-axis, which it does at 3. So it's a little confusing because when you have x, it doesn't touch, so it's none. But when you have y equals, it does touch right at this number, -3. So for the y equals, it's left to right, horizontal, so we go down to -3 on the y-axis and go straight across. Okay? So again, this is y equals -3. If it's y equals, we go left and right. If it's x equals 7, we go up and down. Okay? Alright, if you guys have any more questions, just come during lunch, during the week, or check out my schedule on the Google Calendar if you'd like to come see me. Alright, bye.